Happening now, the community and the Griego family are preparing for the funeral of the 5 people murdered in the South Valley. A private funeral will be held at 2:30 at Calvary of Albuquerque for the Griego family. Greg Griego, his wife Sarah, 9-year-old son Zephaniah, 5-year-old Jael, and 2-year-old Angelina were all gunned down in their South Valley home early Saturday morning. Deputies say the family's son and brother, 15-year-old Nehemiah Griego, seen here, is the one who shot and killed them all. Now, if you're wondering how you can help out the family, they are asking that donations be made out to the Griego Family Memorial Fund at New Mexico Educators Federal Credit Union. That's located at 1801 University Avenue Northeast here in Albuquerque. And you know, it is not just the Griego family that is having a tough time dealing with everything that has happened in the last week.
And the sheriff's deputies who are investigating the murders are struggling too. In fact, about 30 of them are now seeing the sheriff's office psychologist, Dr. Troy Rogers. He says it's been especially tough on deputies with their own kids and because they don't know exactly why this mass shooting happened.
If you have a reason, it helps to cope with it. If you don't have a reason, or if you don't understand the origin of where this problem comes from, you can't fix it. And that makes people feel helpless.
Dr. Rogers there also says some deputies are having a tough time because people all over the country are now scrutinizing how they're handling the case. Right now, investigators still don't know why they say Nehemiah Griego killed his family, but they do say he was a fan of violent video games, and that has one attorney who's connected to Albuquerque saying the companies behind these games should be held accountable.
There have been dozens of incidents around the country tied to the Grand Theft Auto games, resulting in teens who have played them killing multiple victims.
Jack Thompson there worked with Stephen Sanders, an attorney here in Albuquerque back in 2006, and that's when they sued Sony, saying it caused Cody Posey to kill his family. A judge disagreed and ended up dismissing that lawsuit, but Mr. Thompson says this situation is a lot like that one because investigators say Nehemiah talked about playing Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. However, Nehemiah's family says there's no evidence to connect these games to those murders.
In other news this morning, the man who led police on a high-speed chase through the streets of Albuquerque is expected to be in court this morning. Police say 32-year-old Daniel Archuleta led them on a high-speed chase yesterday afternoon. They say it all started at Blake's Lotta Burgers on Lomas and Pennsylvania. Cops showed up because they say the man was believed to be a robbery suspect. They say he was in a stolen vehicle. Police backed off the ground but kept tabs on Archuleta from the air. Finally, he surrendered along Carlisle. Archuleta does have a long criminal record.
New for you this morning, the man police say was trying to steal copper is getting something even more in return. It's all because police say about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Dominic Anarza here tried to steal copper from the small shopping mall on Southeast Central, and he ended up shocking himself pretty badly, burning off almost all of his hair, knocking out power to all of the stores in the mall. And take a look at this, 4,600 pounds of pot in Hidalgo County. Sheriff's deputies found it after whoever was driving a van got into a crash earlier this week and took off. Didn't look like they tried to hide the pot all that much. Now investigators are trying to figure out exactly who that was. Well, a substitute teacher for one school district here in New Mexico won't be back in the classroom there ever after police say, get this, he was drunk at school this week.
Investigators say Clay Loya, this man here, was banging his head against a wall at Roswell High School Tuesday afternoon. They also say he reeked of alcohol and had a hard time walking straight. Now, in Loya's bag, police say they found a bottle of vodka, an empty can of beer, and a soda bottle filled with booze. There are still a lot of questions about how one of Albuquerque's busiest schools dealt with a bomb threat last week.
This is because CNM never told students about this. Instead, the school called police and emailed its security. Investigators say they determined the threat was a hoax, but they won't exactly tell us why. And because of that, CNM says it did not want to tell people about this and cause any chaos.
Even if it was a fake bomb threat, people should still know about it so they can prepare for their safety at least.
CNM does have an email and a text alert system that it uses when it has what it calls an immediate threat. Well, tomorrow there will be a big rally for the teenager from southern Colorado who's been missing for a few months now. This rally will be at Dylan Redwine's father's home in Vallecito. It's near Durango. That's also the last place Dylan was ever seen. Dylan's mother says this is to remind people that Dylan is still missing, and they're hoping he's found. There's now a $50,000 reward for information that will lead investigators to him. A wait to text, that's the promise that a lot of students at one high school here in Albuquerque are making now.
A group at La Cueva High called Teens in Prevention teamed up with KRQE and 2 Casa Fox. They got our own Jessica Garate and our Face of Fox Michael Newman to hand out thumb bands during lunch yesterday. Now these thumb bands are meant to remind people to put their phones down when they're driving. They're cute.
I've heard a lot of stories of students who have been texting and driving and almost gotten accidents, and then they just go right back to texting and driving. So I think that it's a very big problem. It's really dangerous.
Now Irwin says that what is being called Wait to Text campaign, the campaign that they ran, is to remind students to be safe before the winter dance, which by the way is tomorrow.
All right, hope they have fun.